Imagine this. One night, you look up at the stars and something feels wrong. The constellations seem closer, the distance between them shrinking, not because you moved, but because space itself is folding in, the vast emptiness between galaxies, planets, and atoms is dying. The universe, the greatest canvas ever stretched, is beginning to collapse. Inward, this isn't a meteor shower, a black hole, or an exploding star. This is reality itself unraveling. Every inch of space, every second of time, every atom that makes you, turning against its own existence. Welcome to the end of expansion. Welcome to the great collapse. For billions of years, space has been expanding, galaxies drifting apart, the cosmic web stretching thinner. Scientists believed this expansion would go on forever. The universe, cold and lonely, growing darker with time. But what if one day the expansion stops and reverses? At first, it's subtle. The Milky Way's outer stars start moving inward. Galaxies that were once racing away from us begin slowing down. Observatories detect a strange redshift anomaly. The light from distant galaxies is no longer stretching. It's compressing. Astronomers call it negative expansion. But the name doesn't matter. What matters is what it means. Space is collapsing, and when space collapses, everything follows. As space folds inward, gravity gets stronger. Not locally, but everywhere, planets start orbiting closer to their stars. Solar systems drift toward their galactic course. The night sky brightens, not from light, but from compression. Stars that were millions of light years apart now seem only thousands away. But the compression isn't uniform. Space doesn't fold neatly. It wrinkles, twists, and tears. Imagine the universe as a rubber sheet. Stretch it too far, and it snaps back violently. Galaxies begin colliding again. Quasars ignite in a frenzy of cosmic destruction. Supermassive black holes, once silent, awaken, devouring entire star systems in the chaos, the cosmic microwave background, the faint echo of. The Big Bang grows hotter. That means energy is concentrating again. The same heat that once birthed the universe now returns to consume it. Scientists on Earth scramble to calculate timelines, but equations fail. Physics itself begins to blur. The constants that govern our universe, the speed of light, the strength of gravity, the flow of time, begin to shift. The collapse doesn't just squeeze space, it crushes time. In a universe that's shrinking, clocks start to drift. Seconds feel shorter, minutes blur together. Atomic clocks no longer sync. GPS satellites lose accuracy. Then, more terrifyingly, cause and effect begin to slip. Events start happening out of order. A glass shatters before it hits the ground. A sound echoes before the noise. To us, it would feel like reality lagging, like the universe buffering. People experience flashes of déjà vu, seeing moments seconds before they occur. Memory becomes unreliable because the direction of time itself is losing its grip. And this is just the start. The collapse doesn't care about planets or life. As space tightens, Earth's orbit decays. The moon, once drifting away, now begins to fall back toward us. Tides become violent, waves hundreds of meters tall swallowing coastlines. Earthquakes ripple from the pressure of gravitational changes. Volcanoes erupt as the planet's core compresses. Meanwhile, the sun brightens unnaturally. Its outer layers compact, releasing bursts of radiation that scorch half the solar system. Mars loses its thin atmosphere in hours. Jupiter's storms tear across the planet faster than ever recorded. But the real terror begins when atoms start to feel the collapse. At the quantum level, the space between particles shrinks. Electrons are forced closer to nuclei. The fundamental structure of matter changes. Metals warp, air thickens, and chemistry itself starts breaking down. What was once solid, liquid, and gas begins merging into states no physicist has ever seen, matter collapsing into something beyond plasma. Reality starts to look wrong. By now, the night sky is no longer black, it's burning. Galaxies fall toward each other like sparks into a firestorm. The light from billions of dying stars merges into a cosmic blaze. Black holes grow massive enough to start merging themselves, their gravity bending light into a continuous loop, a universal mirror showing everything, everywhere, all at once. This is the end stage of collapse, a feedback loop of destruction, the same physics that created. The Big Bang in reverse. Imagine every point in space pulling every other point toward itself. The entire universe spiraling inward to a single point of infinite density. A big crunch. As the collapse nears totality, temperature rises to trillions of degrees. Every atom is crushed into quarks, then into pure energy. The forces that once held matter together are undone. There is no up or down, no before or after. Time stops making sense. The universe, vast, infinite, and old, is now smaller than a marble. Inside the dying universe, light circles infinitely, trapped by gravity, every photon that ever existed now compressed into a single point of blinding brilliance. Space has folded so tightly that distance no longer exists. You could walk 1 billion light years in a single step, but there's nowhere to go, and in that final instant, the laws of physics do something extraordinary. They reset. Because when the universe becomes infinitely dense, when time reaches zero, something familiar happens. The conditions of the Big Bang are reborn. Energy erupts outward once again, tearing apart the singularity, igniting space, creating time anew. The universe dies, only to be born again. Maybe the Big Bang wasn't the beginning. Maybe it was just the latest rebound, one of countless cycles where the universe expands, collapses, and expands again. Each cycle erases the old and births the new, a cosmic heartbeat that has pulsed for eternity. If so, then even after everything ends, after every star, every planet, every memory of us is gone, something remains, not matter, not energy, but pattern, the code of existence, written into the laws of physics, waiting to ignite once more. And when the next universe is born, maybe, somewhere in its vastness, another version of us will look up at the stars and wonder if they've seen this all before. So, what if space really did start collapsing inward? It would mean everything, from galaxies to atoms, would return to where it all began. It would be terrifying, beautiful, and strangely poetic. Because maybe the universe isn't just a one-way trip from creation to oblivion. Maybe it's breathing, expanding and collapsing, again and again, and we are living in just one breath of infinity.